Greetings Arkham Horror fans! Today we'll be talking about some official merchandise which will soon be available from Fanattik. Fanattik are a UK company that makes licensed memorabilia inspired by films, TV, video games and tabletop games. They have been around for more than 15 years. They sell in retail and online stores across the globe, as well as through their own website which will convert prices to your local currency via this little menu at the bottom of the page. This is the first time they have produced something based on a board game. And what did they choose? That's right, Arkham Horror. They currently have 7 distinct items available for pre-order to be shipped around the end of September 2023. Normally we don't make videos unless we have actual product in hand because you deserve nothing less. But these are all limited quantity items and we don't want you to miss out on pre-ordering while we wait for our copies to arrive in several months' time. So we begged and pleaded to be allowed to show you the first samples hot off the press, and because Fanattik are super cool, they said yes. These are the final prototypes, so there may still be small variations in detail, but we are confident we can give you a better idea than just screenshots. However, we weren't able to do any of the durability tests we are famous for, as we had to return these in the same condition they arrived, so no running stuff over. First up, we have an Arkham Police Badge. Because this is an early sample, the packaging was not available for us to handle, but we believe it will come in a box like this. And as you can see, it is limited to 5,000 copies. Freeze, sucker! This is a hefty metal badge, presumably of a zinc alloy, as opposed to those crappy plastic ones you used to get as a kid. At the bottom is the copyright and trademark information for FFG, and also on the back is this metal belt clip, so you can go hands-free in front of the mirror to your heart's content. The clip looks to be double riveted, so you shouldn't have any problems with it breaking off. It is slightly more than 3.5 inches tall, and here it is compared to a regular blister pack. Look at that amazing detail! The feathers on the eagle, the gravel effect around the star, plus the nice clean scroll work around the text. Superb! But is it thematic or just some generic low effort nonsense? Here is of course the police badge that we all know and love, and as you can see it is totally different. If we look for clues in the listing, it mentions Tommy Muldoon, the rookie cop. He does indeed have a badge that looks very similar. Let's check with the definitive source, the investigators of Arkham Horror Book, and lo and behold it is the spitting image. Maybe even more detailed. So 10 out of 10 so far. Here is a fun fact for all you Easter egg hunters out there. If we go crazy with the zoom, we can see the text on Tommy's badge is actually written backwards, which does point to the fact the art may have originally been created like this, and they flipped it because they thought it would look better on his investigator card. If you are the kind of keeper or GM that likes to use props in their Call of Cthulhu or other Lovecraftian RPGs, then this is an amazingly authentic, particularly if you can get some fake blood to smear on it. This would also make a fantastic prop for an Arkham police officer costume, or as a dedicated Tommy Muldoon cosplay, because the badge is probably the hardest thing to replicate, apart from maybe the motorbike. Next up in the badge department is this metal elder sign, also limited to 5,000 copies. It comes in this card box with a silky waxed paper finish measuring approximately 4 inches by just over an inch deep. Here it is compared to a card game blister pack. There are handy finger notches on the side allowing you to open it with ease. Inside is a little art card featuring Wendy Adams. Let's come back to that. Then there is this dulled brass effect metal item that sits in a velvet feel sculpted foam backing. There is a small cutout so you can remove it easily without turning the box upside down. And this is another heavy solid chunk of metal, which is identical on both sides. On the rim is the copyright information, and we believe this is where the edition number will appear. Due to its irregular design, the amulet will only fit into the foam one way. We understand the finished version will come with a stand that sits under the main piece when packed away in the box, but as this is a prototype, it didn't come with one. However, we can guess at the shape and style because the foam is already cut for it, and possibly give you an idea of how it might look. But this is all conjecture and not facts. So let's check the authenticity, starting with Wendy Adams. The old version isn't a good match, but the new art by Alexander Karsh could be a little closer. Let's go back to the source, and oh my word, look at that. Absolutely picture perfect. In fact, you may recognize Wendy's amulet as the fabled Elder Sign amulet, but it doesn't have the loop for attaching to a chain to make it into a pendant. Again, this can be a great tool for cosplay, or an extravagant first player or lead investigator token, or maybe even a paperweight. Do people still use those? Speaking of lead investigator tokens, next up is this Enamel Pin Badge, which is designed to be a replica of the one in the revised core set of the card game. It comes in an oblong box measuring just over 5 inches by 3 inches and again is limited to 5,000 units. The final production copies are supposed to come in plastic-free, recycled packaging, which is good news. The backing tray slides out from the bottom quite easily and it has this wonderful gilt finish. It is a modern pin badge, so it has the rubber stopper as opposed to an old-fashioned butterfly clasp. There is a single pin on the back that you could put through a buttonhole on your lapel or through a lanyard or however you choose to wear it. It is 4.5 centimeters at its widest point. On the rear is a large Arkham Horror logo, the copyright statement and the item number. Wow, which in this case is number 1. Speaking of number 1s, if you collect them, then Fanattik will sometimes sell them separately, giving them their own section on their website. And they even explain what happens in the event that 2 people order at exactly the same time. Plus, it looks to us they don't mark these up to premium prices. They appear to be the same cost as all the other numbers, which is crazy good value, right? Anyway, we did ask if this range would be sold as number 1s and they could not tell us at this time. Sometimes the license holder wants these, so they may appear in the background of a future FFG livestream. Keep checking back through September. Moving on, we have this Clue and Doom coin, unfortunately sold in single-use plastic, but you could keep it in the packaging to display it, although it isn't freestanding. Again, these are limited to only 5,000 units. The blister pack measures 6 inches by 3.5 inches and is a little shorter than a Mythos pack. As there was no permanent seal or tape on our version, you can just pop the blister open, remove the insert, and there you have it. As you know, we love coin capsules, and this one comes with a rimless design measuring 42mm or about 1 2/3 inches. The number and copyright statement should appear on the rim of the finished item. There is a finger notch on the capsule, and with a little persistence you can open it up. This is solid metal with an enamel design on both sides, with the modern Doom symbol for the card game on one face, and the similarly iconic Clue on the other. It is great to see these in a larger size so you can appreciate the amount of detail that went into the original design. Our sample did look a little scratched, as you would expect from a prototype model, but if you leave it in the capsule you should be fine, as we detected no internal movement. Other than a cool first player marker or maybe a challenge coin, we can't think of too many uses for a lone one of these other than collectability. Whilst their size and visibility would be great for streaming games online, it would be expensive to have enough of them to do even a true solo playthrough, although they are the perfect size for anomalies in the board game. Maybe you could grab 1 or 2 as a 10 clue token if you are playing at higher player counts. Moving on to the more practical items, we have this Doom spread keyring. Is that a weird name, don't you think? It's not just us, right? For anyone not familiar with the board game, this is the Doom icon for that game, and more importantly, this is the Mythos token that when drawn instructs you to spread Doom to the locations, which is presumably where they took the name from. The backing card measures about 5.5 inches by 2 3/4 inches. It is open, so you can handle it if you are purchasing it in a store. And it is secured by a simple wire tie if you wanted to use it but keep the packaging safe. Here is a blister pack for scale. Although the pre-production sample says 9,995 units on the packaging and the fob, the website has the correct edition size of only 5,000. It isn't fully enameled, and this looks like an electroplated nickel base, which whilst hard wearing will eventually show abrasion as it rubs up against your keys. It uses a common flat split keyring, which if you have some fingernails is easy to use and your keys are unlikely to detach. Again, we couldn't test this or the durability of its chain, but think of this as a novelty item rather than a tough piece of workwear. The medallion is approximately 4.5 centimeters or 1 2/3 inches in diameter and is roughly coin thickness. The other practical item is this bottle opener, which looks to be an unlimited item, so hopefully you can easily find it whenever you have a need to replace your old one or get an inexpensive Arkham Files gift. The backing card measures approximately 6 1/4 inches by 3 1/8 inches. Again, it is open so you can handle it if you are purchasing it in a store, and it is secured by 2 wire ties. Here is the blister pack for scale. The item itself is about 4 inches or 10 centimeters in length and 4.5 centimeters across the head. Now, we aren't qualified to speak on whether this is Art Deco or Art Nouveau, but the typeface, angles and long lines look suitably 1920s to us. And the metal has been treated to give it that antique look and emphasize the contrast. We couldn't find any art that this is actually based on, but it looks wonderfully canon. If you or your spouse aren't keen on getting collectibles just to sit around and look at, then this is the perfect item. You can hang it on a hook in your kitchen or the door of your drinks cabinet if you wanted to show it off, or stick it in a drawer and forget you own it. But wait, this thing is magnetic and you can stick it on your fridge like so. Okay, well, the finished item will be magnetic. These two holes on the reverse, we are told, will have magnets in. Are you being funny now? If these top scientists can't explain it, then us ninnies at the Arkham Chronicles don't have a chance. But this is a functional item. It is solid metal and has a great feel despite the tinny sound. It is delightfully easy to use, and as bona fide idiots, we would go so far as to say idiot-proof. It doesn't take a lot of effort at all, which is great news for anyone with low grip strength or poor dexterity. There is one more item, and that is this art print. This is a well-known Arkham Files image that you may have seen lurking in the background of various FFG works or displayed front and center in the Investigator's book. It is, of course, the full artwork for the Investigator Lola Hayes, the actress. The new and improved artwork after her much-needed glow-up, of course. It is in the style of a mock theatre poster for a French performance of The King in Yellow. It is A3 size, which for anyone not familiar with international paper sizes, the dimensions are on the screen. Here are some familiar items for scale. It comes flat, not rolled, which was a surprise, with a thick card backing in a sealed clear plastic pouch, as well as being further bubble wrapped. Fanattik did confirm that these prints will be sent out flat. The paper is 300 GSM, which is basically thick card and is heavily textured, giving it an even more authentic feel, as well as having dirt and smudges printed onto the poster itself, which is a neat little touch. There is the ubiquitous copyright text, which does spoil the immersion but is very small, and you could always try and hide that under the frame. You yourself need to judge how intrusive that is. Apparently, this was printed at one of the oldest printers in the UK, who've been making prints since 1827, but we weren't able to find out any more information about this. The print run will be limited to only 995 prints, which will be hand numbered and come with a certificate of authenticity. We didn't get the chance to see an actual certificate, but they were kind enough to send us a picture so you can see for yourself. And you know what we said when we received this?
He's already got one, you see?
That's right, folks, we do indeed already got one, as these were part of the 2018 Arkham Knights goodie bag, and so were handed out in at least the US, Germany and the UK. Of course we have a video all about it. And the American version is obviously bigger. Not by a huge amount, but by enough to notice. Now, the paper this was printed on does not hold a candle to the Fanattik print, being super thin with a high gloss finish, the kind of stock that the FFG rulebooks were all made from. But if you already have one of these in a fancy frame and are happy with it, then you might not want to upgrade. If you didn't already get one of these, then this new version is undoubtedly the definitive edition, and it probably means FFG won't give away the free copies again. Whilst we are on the subject of art prints, Fanattik do actually have a lot of art prints, currently 229, so it might be worth a browse. We thought the Jurassic Park ones were neat. Well, that looks to be the end of the video. We need to wrap these up and get them back to Fanattik. We never give our personal recommendations here on the channel, but hopefully we have shown you enough detail that you can make up your own mind if these are of interest to you. What we will say is that Fanattik have been really great to deal with. Super communicative and really generous. After all, they lent us their only samples for about 2 months. And when we spotted small mistakes on their website, they updated it immediately, as well as encouraging further feedback. There is nothing here we wouldn't use ourselves, and all these look to be great competition prizes. Speaking of which, stay tuned to social media throughout September, as someone may be giving some of these away. Any questions, you can reach out to Fanattik via their contact form on their website, or leave them in the comments below.
I told them we already got one.